Bernard joins us, or there are a couple members that said they were going to attend. Oh, I recognize that face. All right, Nathan, you want to go ahead and we can get started then?
Sure. Bernard Childress. I'm here.
Let me call the meeting to order.
There you go.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Deanna McLaughlin. For those of you that haven't met me before, I'm the Tennessee Commissioner to the Military Interstate Children's Compact. Appreciate you all for joining us today. I know that some of you out west had some bad weather, and I hope that everyone in your communities are safe. Nathan, you may now call the roll.
Thank you. So let's see, Colonel Jordan. Or a designee. If you're a designee for one of these folks, please.
Yep, Melissa Silva. I'm the designee for Colonel Jordan.
Okay. Dwight Hunter. Dr. John Combs. Senator Briggs. James Griffin. Dr. Ted Horrell.
Hi, I'm Kim Pickens, and I am the designee for Dr. Horrell.
Dr. Angela Huff.
Yes, I'm here.
And Chief Jenkins.
I'm here for Chief Jenkins, Michaela Gregory.
Let's see, Jeff Mayo. Dr. McFall.
I'm here today.
Okay. Deborah Eunice.
I'm here.
General Baker. Anyone for General Baker? Captain Mossberger. One for the captain. Lee Smith. And Madam Chair, you and I are here. So with that, we've got a quorum.
Well, a couple of people fell off because Captain Mossberger is here. He might be on mute.
Okay, great.
So let's 1, 2, 3. We're still one short. I know that General Baker is on the road and he's supposed to be dialing in. So let's just go ahead and cover the agenda items that do not require quorum or vote. All right, so this is the agenda. It's a fancier copy of what I sent out an email as a one-pager. Our goal is to try to keep this under the allotted time. Okay, so we'll come back to that. And we'll come back to that. So Nathan, just go ahead and record, and then we'll come back and I'll ask for approval once we have another member. Is that okay?
Yeah, recording is in progress. Yeah, and I was just going to ask unanimous consent on it, but we definitely do need a quorum to.
Okay. All right. So introduction of new council members. Senator Briggs is not with us, but he was recently appointed by the governor to be our legislative branch representative as required by our TCA code. He's looking forward to participate with us, but the legislative session, as Nathan mentioned, they've been pretty busy, so he wasn't able to join us today. Dr. Huff, do you want to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Angela Huff of Clarksville, Montgomery County School System. Very excited to be here this afternoon. This is my 4th year with the school system, but my first year as serving as the interim director. Prior to that, I served as the chief of staff.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Dwight Hunter was going to join us, but he has fallen ill. He is replacing Mr. Brown for the Tennessee Parent-Teacher Association. He's the current president. He's going to be filling as a state council member until they have a new communications person on staff. And then we'll just go down the line of current board members. So I already spoke. My name is Deanna. I'm the Tennessee Commissioner. I was originally appointed to be the commissioner in 2011 by Governor Haslam. He reappointed me, and then Governor Lee appointed me when he took office. So I think I'm rounding 11 years coming up. I originally was appointed because I was a military spouse who had a military child. And I knew the governor when he was the mayor of Knoxville, and it's just definitely something I'm passionate about. And so I just continue to serve and hopefully help families solve their problems through the compact. Bernard, did you join us? Okay. Nathan?
All right. With that, since we have a quorum, I'd ask unanimous consent that the recording of the previous meeting serve as the minutes thereof, and that the recording of today's meeting serve as the minutes for it as well.
This is Deanna. I move to approve that motion. Is there a second?
And I second that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
If there's no objections, it's just without objection, so ordered.
All right, Nathan. A couple more people joined. Do you want to check in to see who they are while I tell my dogs to quit fighting? I'll be right back.
Yeah, if you've just joined us, please speak up and let me know that you have, and if you're a designee for someone, who you're a designee for, please.
Hey, this is Captain Mike Mossberger from NSA Mid-South. I've been on the WebEx, but no mic, so I dialed in, so I have audio. Over.
Great, thank you. Any others? Okay.
Did Dr. Combs join us? Nathan, did you want to introduce yourself? I'm sorry, that was your turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were
Yeah.
ready to. I'm Nathan James. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of the State Board of Education for Legislative and External Affairs, which is a very long title. Just call me Nathan.
It's very boring.
Well, it's that too, but yes, but no, I was just saying it's a long title.
Yes, yes. Okay, did Bo Griffin join us? All right, Kim, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself since you're filling in for Dr. Hurl?
Sure, I'll be happy to. My name is Kim Pickens. I am the Student Services Supervisor for Lakeland School System, and I'm a former military spouse myself. So I obviously have a great passion for our military families, and I'm excited to be here today. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, Michaela, do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Michaela Gregory. I am the lead Child and Youth Program Coordinator with the Tennessee Army National Guard, and I am a military dependent.
Thank you. All right, Melissa.
I'm Melissa Silva. I am the Fort Campbell School Liaison Officer. I've been in this role for almost 3 years now. I am an Army spouse of, 22 years he's been in. So we've gone the long haul. But yeah, I am representing Colonel Jordan today, and I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. Dr. McFall?
Yes, ma'am. LaDonna McFall. I'm the Director of Schools in Roane County, East Tennessee. Been on the compact for, I think we figured it out maybe 5 or 6 years. So happy to be here and looking forward to tomorrow being Friday.
Yes, it's Friday Eve. Thank you. Did Jeff Mayo join us? Okay, Deb Muniz.
Hi, I'm Deb Muniz. I'm the Military Family Education Liaison, but my primary duty is the Tennessee Purple Star School Award, and I'm a longtime educator. And so for me, I love all those children that have exceptionalities one way or the other. So when we took up this march in Ohio, I was all in because it's another group of students that need to be wrapped around. And so when I came to Tennessee, Deanna asked me to become part, knowing that I needed to be involved. So I thank her for that. So I'm just glad to be here and being able to serve.
Thank you. I can't take credit for that. My colleague, the Ohio commissioner, is the one that said, hey, we have a great volunteer up here relocating to Tennessee. So thank you, Pete Lapiba, wherever you are in Ohio. Captain Mossberger.
Good afternoon, Mike Mossberger. I've been the CO here in Memphis area for since July. So this will be my first meeting. This is my second tour here on the base. I was a military brat. My dad was Air Force, so I've lived in 15 states, so I believe in the mission greatly. I still don't know where to put commas and sentences because I missed that part in moving around during grammar school.
I want to respond to this idiot, this last email he just sent. Brandon Whitsett. He said,
Oh, you're not on mute.
just FYI, the product that was proposed in this is the same turf at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, New Orleans Saints, and the U.S. Bank Stadium, Minnesota Vikings. I know that the guy doing the earth.
There you
Wow,
go.
I want to know more.
Me too.
I'm going to tease him about that later. And my kids go to Lakeland schools, so in Mr. Horrell's district or Dr. Horrell's district. And I'm looking forward to Lakeland getting their high school built because we are commuting my other son to Germantown really far away. And that's it. Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Lee Smith, did you join us? Okay, what about General Baker? Again. Sorry. Elizabeth, my cursor's froze. Able to advance on your end?
Perhaps, let me.
The perpetual whirligig circle. There's probably a technical term for it. Okay, good, great, thank you. Okay, so hopefully most of you are familiar with what a school liaison officer is, but I can tell you that in the state of Tennessee, our school liaison officers are top notch. They handle a lot of our cases before they ever get to myself or Deb. And sometimes they just will follow up with us to make sure that, you know, they had the proper course of action, which they do. So we're very beneficial. I know that when I first was appointed to this position, the school liaison officers were turning over about every 12 to 18 months. And so we definitely have some stability here, which I'm very grateful for. So Melissa, do you have anything else to add about your introduction?
No, I really love what I do, and I love the partnerships that I have with the schools. You know, Clarksville in particular, that's my biggest district, and it's one I very much love. So I will put that out there.
Nice.
And we love you also. We're appreciative of the partnership.
Thank you.
Okay, Jennifer. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jennifer Lindy. I'm the school liaison for NSA Mid-South. Just to my bio, I guess. I've been affiliated with helping military kids in some capacity since 2003. I've been in this role since 2013, and I should be here, Deanna, until at least 2033. That's when my youngest is set to graduate. So we're here and we're consistent for a while. And I just love this state. I love the support that we have, and our school districts in our area are absolutely fantastic with supporting our military students. So just happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Elizabeth, still froze. Thank you. All right, do we have any guests with us today that haven't already been introduced? I was expecting a couple of people from Veterans Affairs in addition to Michaela or Major General Baker. Any guests? Do we have anybody from the national office? Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this is the purpose slide that I put up every year. I just wanted to reiterate that we are housed under the Tennessee State Board of Education. Deb and I are uncompensated volunteers, and we receive a lot of support from Nathan James, Elizabeth, and Casey at State Board. They're putting this this webinar on for us today, and a lot of things that we need as far as information on who's changed in schools as far as leadership and whatnot. They're our resource, and we're greatly appreciative of them. So thank you, State Board of Education. Next slide, please.
We're happy to help. I'll tell you what, yesterday I was in a Senate committee, and they're working on the grading scale to maybe change it to be a 10-point scale like the surrounding states. And I talked with some of the members about this council and the situation that students face transferring in from other states. So absolutely happy to be part of it.
That's awesome. Do you think that's going to pass? Because that's a big challenge for us when we have students that come in from other states and the weighting of grades and class ranking for seniors.
Yeah, I mean, it got through the Senate Ed Committee. It does have a considerable fiscal note on it because more people will qualify for the Hope Scholarship.
Right.
So, but that's out of lottery money, of which we've had a considerable surplus. So,
right.
I hope it passes.
Okay. Thank you. All right, this is the part of the year where we elect our officers of the state council. I serve as the chairman. Bernard from TSSAA, he serves as the vice chairman, and Nathan serves as our secretary. But we are open to nominations from the floor. So if anybody out there in the virtual floor would like to step up and volunteer to serve in one of these roles, we will take nominations from the virtual floor at this time. Nathan, you're not going to lose your job. All right.
If nobody wants to make nominations, Madam Chairman, I would move that all officers continue to serve in their role for another term.
Is there a second to that motion?
Bo Griffin, second.
Thank you, Bo. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any objections?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Next slide, please. All right, Deb.
All right, this is just a reminder slide of kind of where we started. We began looking at the Purple Star as a way to provide schools with some recognition of the things they were doing that were supporting military family and their children. And so the first year out, you can see what a nice group of schools we had. And again, I just have to tell you, going out and hearing the stories is phenomenal because these schools really work to make sure that they do things well for our military families. Then if you look at last year, we were just kind of blown away because we went from 6 excellent schools the first year to 18 more excellent schools the second year. It was phenomenal. And going out and again, listening to the stories, seeing what they were doing, talking with their point of contact and administrators, there is such a passion for serving kids, number one, but then in addition to that, making sure that they have things that show that military families are welcome. When you see some of their applications where they have pictures and displays and these ceremonies for military families, and they gather the community around to support that, it's phenomenal. So that welcoming atmosphere, and then looking at ways that they can provide support, whether that is in transitioning in, transitioning out, looking at if there are support groups that are needed, or just groups where they can talk to other military family, children in military families. So that whole component is quite phenomenal to watch and to listen to. Thank you, Elizabeth. This is the rest of that class of 2021. And I'm going to tell you, we had schools in every part of Tennessee. We went from Northeast over to Northwest, down to this Middle Tennessee area, over to the Southwest. It was incredible to see that these schools from wherever all saw what they were doing, and then for us to be able to say thank you in a kind of, to me, what's a big way. I continually joke that we don't have money to give you, it's not some kind of prize, but what we want to do is make sure that you get recognition for that. Whether, it's in putting something in the newspaper, or it is just Deanna and I standing there saying, from the state board, from us, thank you. What you do is phenomenal. So, Elizabeth, without further ado, I kind of want to talk about this year's group. Oh, sorry, pictures. You can tell I'm a little anxious to get to this year's group. This was all in Clarksville. And Deanna, you did the board meeting and presented all of these awards. So that was a big night, because there were a lot of people there. So
it was really fun.
A lot of schools.
It was fun. The whole side of the boardroom where they have recognitions was full of representatives from the schools. It was really amazing to see. CMCSS is pretty close to having every school a Purple Star school. So
I wonder
That's
if we
awesome.
could get the the details, and this would make great social media, don't you think, Elizabeth? Have we tweeted or put any of this stuff on the Facebook?
we put it on our Facebook, which you can share from there.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll talk with you all offline.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, this next group is just a variety of the schools that the rest of the schools that we went to visit. And again, they brought in some of their students, honor students. They had parents there. They had military people there. It was really a celebration. Every place I went, those 2 or 3 days, it was a celebration. And there is nothing better than looking into the faces and you're talking about, what the school is doing, and you see parents and students shaking their head. Yes, they do that for us. And I think that gives them great confirmation of what they're doing. But for Deanna and I, it is also that ability to say thank you. And I think for me, that's the greatest part, is being able to thank the students, the parents for all that they do, and then the school for all the things that they do above and beyond.
All right, drum roll, right?
Yes, this year's group. All right, so I have to tell you, this slide is not exactly correct, because in the last couple of days, I have had several additions to this list. So give me just a second here so that I can pull up my list and share with you all of the schools that we that have met the criteria. All right, so we have Tullahoma applied high school, and they had everything in order. They completed all of the requirements, and just as a reminder, there are a couple of absolute requirements. One is they have to have a point of contact, and that point of contact has to have professional development around the Tennessee MIC3 components. And then they have to have a web page, because back when we started this particular activity for Purple Star, we sat with some focus groups. And one of the things was we found out that parents shop. They want to go out, they want to see if it's a welcoming school for military families, you know, what's there for them. So that is an absolute requirement. We want them to be able to find that information easily. And I always, when someone messages me about, well, what do I put on my webpage? I said, sell yourself. The parents want to know what you offer, and sell yourself. There are some things like MCEC that I think you should have out there, and you'll see them in the course, the PD that you're taking, but sell yourself. And then some of the other components that they can do is they can provide professional development, but with all of these schools, the activities that they're involved in is kind of what I want to share. So with Tullahoma, they met all the requirements, but the thing that caught my eye is they do have groups that get together so that military-related students can actually meet with other military-related students, so they don't feel like they're going through all of this by themselves. And to me, that's a huge part. Our next school is Peabody High School, and that's out of Trenton Special School District. And what they work with is they have an active military club. So these students can actually join that club. Rossview High School, I'm going to tell you that Clarksville actually has 3 schools there that have applied under a renewal. Rossview High School, Ringgold Elementary, and Rossview Middle School. All 3 of those have their applications in, and everything was in order. So they have, this will be their second round. Deanna and I decided after that first year that, and COVID hit, to give them the opportunity to have an additional year, but Rossview, Ringgold, and Rossview Middle School all applied again. And I think that's awesome. It shows that they're proud of what they do. And I think that's important, and it's important to recognize. We have Milan, and they have a fundraiser, and then they have a group called Female. And at first I was kind of curious, but it is actually about women in the military. And so I thought that was kind of a different item that we hadn't seen before. Northeast Elementary, they do a lot with military child support groups, sending cards to the homes of veterans, and then of course, Month of the Military Child, they celebrate. And then Baker's Mill Elementary, and that their list of things just kind of went on and on. I have to make sure I'm trying to run up and down this screen. Yeah. They actually send out Valentine's cards. They have a fun run and Night of the Arts, and they had pictures of all these people in doing these arts projects and things. Then there is Liberty Elementary. And they too have some of the student support groups in place. Sorry, my computer is just wanting to do what it wants to do today. And they also celebrate Month of the Military Child. And does that make all 10? Oh, no. Hancock County Middle and High School, it's a joint school, actually applied. They were one of my last ones to come in yesterday, and they do a Veterans Day breakfast, and they have some of their students that have enlisted in the military actually come back and speak with the rest of the group, the rest of the students, so that they can, you know, kind of show what military life is like. So that is kind of our group. I think it is a great mix of newbies and returning, and then also grade levels. We have a lot of elementary, some middle and high school, and then we go from the very rural to the very urban. So to me, I always like to see that mix. And I told Deanna, I emailed Deanna last night, I said, we have 10, 3 renewals, 7 new ones, and it's a great mix of schools, great mix of schools. So, again, they're kind of all over the state again. So it's great to see that it is reaching out and expanding within our state. So.
Does anybody have any questions for Deb about the schools who will be before us for a vote?
You can tell I get just a little bit excited about this. I just think it's awesome that we get to tell school and staff, you're doing a great job. I don't think that gets said often enough out in public. So, all right.
Thank you, Deb, for all your work on this. We wouldn't have a Purple Star program without you.
Yeah, I think you would, but I'm glad you let me be part of it. It is great fun. It's great to be out in the schools. So.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the renewals of the 3 schools that are up for renewals and approval of the 7 new schools to be award recipients for 2022. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Nathan. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, exciting news. Dr. Huff, is Kelly Parker the new principal at Liberty?
Let's see, because we've named so many different people. Hold on.
She is my daughter's middle school and high school basketball coach, so.
Yeah, I'll get back with you and let you know, because we've named so
That'll
many
be a
people.
fun one to go to.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Here's your last slide, Deb.
All right. This year, there's a couple things. This list generally shows up every year. We'll get in touch with the schools, make sure that we set up a time when we can come out and thank them in person. Nathan, Casey, Elizabeth, for all that you do, but in particular, being able to stand out with our schools and have those awesome banners rather than just the certificate. I think that's awesome, because I know schools that I worked with, they love to hang those in the hallway. So having that display also lets family know that when they're walking in, that this is a school that is going to welcome our family. One of the other things I'll be working on is actually looking at our application again and making allowances, because next year our schools that have had the award presented will have to reapply. It will be their deadline, and some of them have been getting in contact with me about, when do we do this? So I will be sending out emails revising our application so that we know who is a renewal. I mean, we have a list, but it'll be right up front, what's a renewal? And then I want to add additional questions on there just for our renewing group that talk about what changes have you made, what have you added, those kind of things. Not that we're asking them to change anything, but just by going through the process, is there things that have become more defined? So, and then Deanna, I think this was something you put in there about the MIC3, the Tennessee MIC3, and the training.
Yes, so I'm part of the training committee for the national organization, and one of our tasks has been to build webinars that are available at any time for people who are looking for more information and more training on the actual compact and different sections of the compact. And so those are available at any time through that link. Please pass that on to anyone who feel like would greatly benefit from a webinar. Thank you.
Deanna, this is Angela Huff. I have
Yes,
Donna Gagliardi as the principal at Liberty.
okay, thank you.
Okay, Kelly's the
Thank you.
AP.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, so we're gonna, I'm share some of our cases with you, just a couple. And I want to explain that when I first became the commissioner, it took me probably a few cases to figure out what the best practice was. And so, like my mom said, growing up, there are three sides to every story, and that's exactly the same when it comes to a parent who just wants everything in the world for their child. We do have to analyze the information that we receive from the parent and or the school, and then touch base with the other party before we make a decision. But this is actually an email that I received from an employee of the Military Child Education Coalition, which Deb referred earlier as MSEC. And so he was reaching out to me with a case of a family moving from North Carolina to our area, to the Clarksville, Hopkinsville area, and was having an issue with course placement and pre-K. And so this is the email message that I received. And just also, when Deb and I do receive phone calls from parents or schools or school liaison officers, we do ask for them to send us the information in writing so that we have it. And we like to copy all of the related parties on our responses, because there are situations where if somebody says, no, we can't do that, they're going to go to the next person. So it's just better for us to loop everybody in from the very beginning, so we don't run into a mom said, no, I'm going to go ask dad situation, which happened in my house when my child was growing up. So it's just better to loop everybody in. So once I received this email from him, I went ahead and looped in the appropriate people. And Melissa, I did loop you in. I don't want to say that, right? I did. This looks familiar to you?
It does not, but TerraNet was still here at that time, so
true.
it may have been TerraNet that was on this case.
Okay, so I emailed him back and asked him some questions. Which part of Fort Campbell were they going to be on? Because we facilitate the Tennessee side, and my colleague in Kentucky facilitates the Hopkinsville side in Kentucky. And then I also wanted to know, was a kindergarten a public kindergarten, or was it a homeschool or private school situation? And just trying to get more information, and also let him know that really the compact, our jurisdiction is public and Department of Defense education activity schools, and nothing beyond that. So I let him know that, and I also included the compact language on course placement, just as a refresher. It's always good for us to refer to the actual rules in writing, so people have those. And so I sent that to him. And he said, thank you so much. He'll let us know if he would let us know if we needed any assistance. And they ended up going to Fort Knox. So I looped in the Kentucky commissioner because it was probably going to end up with Steve anyway. And then this is just our communication. And after this exchange, we didn't hear anything. So, you know, situational awareness, no news is good news. But just to kind of give you all an idea of what goes into us determining if a situation is compact related or not. This is another case. I received an email from a family that was looking for some assistance with Head Start. And they originally had enrolled their child in Head Start and were under the impression they were going to have to pay $500 a year because they did not meet the financial requirements to receive free Head Start. And then they found out otherwise that it was a monthly. And so he was looking for assistance on that. And so I let him know that compact only applies to currently only applies to kindergarten through 12. But I did provide him with a couple of resources that he could follow up on to see if there was anything he could do on his end. So just because something is not a compact related issue, we do try to provide resources to the family so that they don't have to continue to find information on their own. I remember being a young military spouse and not knowing anything. And so I try to remember back to that, and, you know, Deb and I do our best to try to provide resources to military families, whether it's a compact related issue or not. Talented and gifted is something that comes up every year. In Tennessee, most of you know, Talented and Gifted is a special education service. And some states require an IEP for Talented and Gifted and some don't. And so I had a long conversation. This was actually with a family member wanting to know about testing and is it required, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And so I let them know that since the child was enrolled in Talented and Gifted in their sending school, the school is required to place them in Talented Gifted in the receiving school, but it is the school's option if they want to retest that child or not. And so sometimes parents stop at yes, the school has to enroll your child in the Talented and Gifted, and they forget that, you know, the school can still test, because in the end, everybody wants a child to be successful in school, and curriculums are different from state to state and actually from school system to school system in some cases. And so just trying to provide that information so that the parents know what the rules are and what the options are. This is the response. She said that they were both placed in gifted programs. One needed to be retested and the other one was removed. And she shared the report cards with me. And in the end, I sent the highlighted section again that, you know, the school can perform tests to confirm that the child is in the right level of learning or not. And I didn't hear anything from the school or from the parents. So again, no news is good news. This was an interesting one. A school liaison reached out about immunizations. And sometimes in our rural areas, school systems aren't always familiar with military families and what the guidelines are for them. And so it's pretty easy, just provided the section of the compact language on immunizations, and that solved the problem. Every year I try to look to see what legislation is up at the legislature that could affect military kids specifically. This is the only thing I found. I was hoping that a bill that was up in 2020 that got sidelined because of COVID would be back, because it didn't come back last year. And I haven't seen it yet, but there was a bill that would really help military kids that was going to waive the residency requirement for children to do dual enrollment and or apply for the Hope and Tennessee Promise scholarships. And that hasn't come back up. Maybe it'll come back up next year. But even though it's not compact related, I try to watch legislation that could help our military children. So this is the only one, is just a name change on the current act for dependent children's scholarships. Any questions on any of that information from anybody? Okay, so I'm wrestling a golden retriever. All right. So some of you are new, but I just want to explain that each state is required to pay a dues amount to the national office. And originally, when I was first the commissioner, it was $1 per military child where they were stationed. Then it changed to $1 per military child where the family resided. And so our dues structure changed quite a bit because of Fort Campbell being on the Tennessee and Kentucky state lines. Then in 2018, the executive committee for the national organization requested that the dues be raised to $1.15 per military child where they reside. And as Nathan knows, I always ask questions when it comes to money, but I had some concerns. It passed anyway, and so I just wanted to show you all, as our state council, what our dues looks like, that the State Board of Education budgets in their budget for us to pay the national organization. So you can see that we have the numbers of military children by Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, and what our annual dues are. And even though they're not technically military, the United States Public Health Organization and the National Oceanic Alliance fall under the compact language, but we do not pay dues based on their residing in our state. And as you can see, we don't have any NOAA families, but we do have some public health service employees or children in our state. So it's just interesting for me to share that with you so that you know. In years past, I've tried to lobby for the national organization to allocate a portion of the dues back to the states for us to, run our programs. I feel like in our state, we're pretty self-sufficient. It's rare where we need anything from the national organization. And so that's why I was advocating for that. And of course, that was unpopular. Nathan did help me try to provide some information, but it didn't work out. But we do get great support from State Board, regardless of any money coming back to us or not. So this is the number of military children by Tennessee school system. And as you can see, Dr. Huff has a tie there, or I'm sorry, she has the most military children per total enrollment. And then we do have Stewart County, who's adjacent to Clarksville, Montgomery, that has some students also. And I know, Melissa, you service that school district as one of yours. So I always like to show the updated numbers so everybody can kind of get an idea where our military children are and how many military children we have versus the total district enrollment. And this slide deck, I did email it out to you all in case you need to refer to it. Right. And then this is, this is the number of Guard and Reserve children that we have, ages 5 to 18 in our state. And the reason I share this with you is because, there's been talk in the past about us including Guard and Reserve children under the compact language, which I'm in favor of, as long as we aren't required to pay more dues to the national organization. And I'll get to that in the next couple slides. And then also here is a breakout of total number of military children by branch. So yes, we do have Coast Guard in Tennessee. Several of them are up actually at the Kentucky Lake area, Paris Landing. They have a Coast Guard station there. All right, so the National Guard and Reserve discussion, I'll let you all know. I won't read this all to you. I'll just give you a quick review. A couple of years ago, some of the commissioners from other states had raised the idea that, you know, military kids are military kids, which I agree, and that they should be covered under the compact. And actually, the state of Utah passed a law to include them, which made the attorney at the national organization's head spin around because he wasn't consulted. And so the commissioner, who was the chairman of the national organization at the time, created a task force to do some research on what would happen if we did include National Guard and Reserve. And so last year at our meeting that we're having now, we discussed this in great length, and I submitted this report to the state or to the national organization to let them know what our consensus was. And basically, we decided that we're all in favor of including Guard and Reserve children under the compact rules, but we did not want to pay a dues increase. And so we did have a discussion at the national annual meeting, and there was so much talk that it got tabled until the next meeting this coming up in the fall. So I know we do a good job in our state of taking care of military kids, regardless if their parents are active duty or not, but we're not obligated to under the compact language. So any questions on that? I know, especially with things going on in Ukraine, we have more Guard and Reserve members out of our state that have been deployed to other areas. They fall under a title that does make their family members eligible for us following the compact rules for them. All right, so I spoke to this, that it will come up again in the fall. So this is our page on the website that Elizabeth does a great job of hosting for us. It lists any minutes or videos or anything from any of our meetings are hosted here, the information about the Purple Star schools, the state code, quick links to the national information is all posted here. And available for anybody at any time. And a lot of times this is how people find Deb and I when they have compact questions. So I just kind of highlighted that. So these are just some quick links to the information that I discussed. So we do have a state Facebook page, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes I don't have anything to post. I have been publishing a lot of MSEC information there. They host some great webinars, and now that we're going to do that as a compact, I'll try to post those there as well. But what I encourage each of you to do is send me information or tag your Facebook post for Month of the Military Child with the hashtags that I put later in the slide, so that those go to our Facebook page, so that the national organization and also other schools across the state can see what you all are doing to celebrate Month of the Military Child. Here's some other just quick resources that are available off the national site. Okay, so speaking of April, Month of the Military Child, every year, Montgomery County government lights up the bridge down at the river in purple. And last year I sat down there waiting for it to turn on, and it was the wrong color. Fortunately, I knew the person that turns the button on, and she was able to get it turned on so that I could get this picture. But it is April, Month of the Military Child. I know you all have some exciting stuff planned. Melissa, MWR last year on posted some really fun stuff that I saw, and I know they're excited about it. And then today I received that proclamation from the governor, and so I will post that on the Facebook page tomorrow. And then Melissa and I are going to the Clarksville City Council and Montgomery County Commission meetings next week to receive proclamations from the mayors. And then Dr. Huff, we will be at a special meeting of the school board to receive a proclamation from them. But if any of you all get proclamations from your local government, if you could email those to me, or if you're more comfortable emailing me pictures from your events, I can post those on the Facebook page. But I just want to help celebrate what you all do all the time, but highlight it especially during the month of April. And then here's a whole list of ideas. I did share that with you all also through email, but it's an exciting time. I only have a few purple shirts, so I'll probably do purple shirts on Mondays. All right. So I'm just going to check, did any guests join us from when we started that might have public comments? All right, open floor. Any questions or concerns or information you'd like to share from any of our attendees?
Deanna, this is Captain Mossberger from the NSA in Memphis area.
Yes,
So
sir.
the question is, clearly Lakeland and Millington are covered and are active participants in the commission. There are several other school districts in the area that support the base. That I know large proportions of employees live and work. Who is working to bring those schools into the fold? Is that us at our level, and Jennifer and I work on that, or is that something that you guys are doing centrally in the commission? Over.
Well, what Jennifer can tell you is that her and I have tried to bring other schools into this group. And we do have some that aren't committed to being part of the state council, but do receive our information. If you happen to be out in the community and are able to help make that happen for us, that would be great. But we do, through Casey at State Board, we do send emails out to all of the directors of schools and superintendents of schools a few times a year. One is when Deb's launching the Purple Star School program, and the other one is when we get ready for Month of the Military Child. So they are receiving communications from us and do know that we're here. When we first started out, I think that we maybe had 6 total state council members. And so over time, we have added people that we feel like would mutually benefit from a relationship with us. One is the State Athletic Association. Bernard joined us a few years ago because, you know, there is language under the compact that affects how military children are required to receive a tryout for a sport, whether they were in the school at the time of tryouts or not. We added the state PTA, which is really beneficial. We added the Guard. So we're constantly looking for people to add. So with that being said, long answer. If you can help us get people outside your installation as part of this group, that would be great.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All right. Well, we did a great job. We stayed under an hour. Thank you for reading the slides in advance, so we didn't have to read them all in front of each other. All right. Well, again,
Yeah, thank you for all you do too. I mean, it's a tremendous devotion. I think the state and everybody owes you for that. Appreciate it very much.
they don't. I have a military kid who graduated college and is out on her own in the world as of last week. So, you know, we're very lucky that, and this is so weird, Dr. Huff. So my daughter went K through 12 in Clarksville, Montgomery County schools. I call her the military kid unicorn because she never had to change schools. She went to Minglewood, she went to New Providence, and she went to Northwest. So I tell her all the, through my work with the compact, like, you just don't know how lucky you are. You didn't have to move school. She goes, no, but my dad was gone every other year. And I said, but he came home and he retired before you were a teenager. So I had a partner in education.
Awesome. Awesome.
So, but anyway, I do this because I love it. And I think probably during my husband's military career, the thing I loved the most was being a family support group leader. I don't know, the common things that you have with other military families and their children, it never goes away. I'll always have that, even though my husband's been retired for some time. So, and I mean, that's why we retired in Clarksville, Montgomery County, is just we've never felt more at home anywhere than here. So there's some installations I won't ever want to see in my lifetime again, but we're very fortunate to be here. So, well, thank you all so much for your time, and I can't wait to see what you all do for Month of the Military Child. If you receive information from your schools or organizations that are doing things for Month of the Military Child, please, email it to me or share it with us on Facebook. We'd love to see what's going on. And Dr. Huff and Melissa, the Customs House Museum is actually going to go purple for Month of the Military Child. And they have a bunch of events planned just for military families for this month. Frank Lott's awesome. He was super excited to share that with me. He said he was a military child, his grandchildren are military children, and he's super pumped. So I can't wait to go take pictures of the Purple Museum.
Awesome.
So, all right, thank you so much. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 4:03 p.m.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Bye.
Thank you all so much, and thank you for what you do for all of our children. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Be safe.
Thanks,
Thank
Anna.
you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.